what's up, everyone? Thanks for tuning in. This is Dan at Unicorn Riot. We've just been receiving word that the verdict is expected to be read today and as soon as 30 minutes from now. So, thank you all for tuning in. We really appreciate it. We're live on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook. So, it's been great to be working on this with all of you for 28 days. Thank you for respectfully chatting. If you want to talk about where they're watching from, now's the time. We're just going to keep the feed open here as we wait for this half hour or so to go by, give or take. And, we really appreciate your support. Take a look at our website, unicornriot.ninja. We can definitely see them moving around. I'll listen in and see if we can hear anything. I think we can see I'm pretty sure that's Judge Cahill. We've been getting familiar with the top of his head in this process. That's got to be him right there. So thank you all for tuning in. Let's see, where are people watching from? India, Illinois, Oklahoma City, South Minneapolis. What else? Where else are folks watching from today? You can sound off now. Now's the time. We can have to wait for the judge to move around. Fridley, Minnesota, Pennsylvania Love, Duluth, Minnesota, South Minneapolis, Cleveland, Ohio, Atlanta, Fargo, North Dakota, Colorado Springs, Colorado, NLR, Arkansas, St. Paul, Minnesota, Superior, Toledo, Ohio, Powderhorn, Kansas, Massachusetts, Louisiana, Wisconsin, Kalamazoo, Charlotte, Atlanta, UK, Arizona, New York, Charleston, Mexico, Eau Claire, St. Cloud, Seattle, North Minneapolis, California, Nashville, it's going too fast, Rochester, Phoenix, Canada, Golden Valley, Oklahoma. Oh my! It is flying on Twitter, right? On YouTube. I can't even read it. Columbus, Ohio, Evergreen, Colorado, New Jersey, Andover, Maryland, West Minneapolis, Westchester, Ohio, Broker Bay, Australia, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Omaha, Columbus, Nashville. Thank you all for tuning in. Let's see where people... Lexington, Kentucky, Jersey, Chicago, Cottage Grove, Minnesota, New Hampshire, Baltimore, Sacramento, Boston, Ontario, Fairfield, Colorado, Essex, England, Grand Rapids, SoCal, Saskatchewan, Los Angeles, Newfoundland, Toronto, Rogers, Dallas, St. Louis. Let's see. What else? White Bear Lake, Indiana, Orlando, Glasgow, PDX, Chanhassen, Michigan, Northern Michigan, Tampa, Scotland, Vacaville, California, Salisbury, Jupiter, Mars, Dinkytown, Toronto, Africa, Mount Iron, Minnesota, Ontario, Chico, California, Winnipeg, Rochester, New York, Greenville, South Carolina. I'm just going to throw that title back on there, just so we know what's going on. One moment, please. So we're waiting. That doesn't sound good for Chauvin, right? Like, it seems like It would seem to me that it's probably guilty on all counts with no disagreement, right? Like that's I guess that's what I would expect, right? So we're waiting 25 minutes out. Kokomo in Indiana, Wilmington, Delaware, Cork, Ireland, Minneapolis, Maple Grove, Louisa, Virginia, Dublin, Ireland, Sacramento, Wichita, Kansas, Anoka, Minnesota, Carson City, Nevada, San Diego, Imperial Beach, California, Not Guilty is Stan, the place of not guilty, Blackhawk, Colorado, New Smyrna Beach, Florida, War Road, Minnesota, Maui, Hawaii, Canada, Dublin, Buffalo, Tullahoma, Tennessee, Blue Balls, Pennsylvania, Cork, Ireland, Shreveport, Louisiana, St. Paul, Asheville, Worcester, Massachusetts, Spain, Columbia, South Carolina, Houston, Dallas, Rochester, Minnesota, Kalamazoo, Michigan, Red Wing, Austin, Grand Rapids, Michigan, Quebec City, Canada, Grand Rapids, Tallahassee, Florida, Uptown, Minneapolis, St. Paul, Ontario, Tampa, Newport, South Wales. The chat is on slow mode, and everyone's just checking in as fast as possible. Whew. UK, Wisconsin, Birmingham, Alabama. All right. West St. Paul over on the Facebook. Are people asking, will you keep your live videos of the whole trial up? I mean, yeah, they're loaded in Facebook, they're loaded in YouTube, unless they got struck for BS copyright stuff. So, we're keeping the videos up. We're not going to take them down. We'll reorganize the website a little bit. I think we'll probably, clean up the landing page a little. This is the Derek Chauvin trial landing page. Check that out. Keep that bookmarked. Here's the the front page of the website. Let's see where else and unicornriot.ninja. Keep us bookmarked. It really makes a difference. All your support. If you can donate, the link's up there at the top. Thanks so much. And then at this point I want to thank everyone in the Unicorn Riot Collective and our people that volunteered, people that did a lot of support work, the people that got my internet connection working. Like, everyone's just chipped in so much and been so supportive in this whole process. It's been incredible to have this support in the process, and it's been an honor to work on this, as this has been a very tough time for everyone back in the Twin Cities. I'm from the Twin Cities, and I'm just glad that I was able to help build a space and sort of build a way that we can all sort of process what was happening. So again, I'm Dan at Unicorn Riot, and it's just been an honor to be working on this. I've done probably 20 plus of the days of production for the most part, so it's been really good to be with you. Whew. Let's take a breath here. All right, so what else we got? Carbondale, Illinois, Fort Gordon, Georgia, Gold County, California, rural Minnesota, Birdtown, Minnesota, West St. Paul, Columbus, Ohio, New York, South Park, Colorado, Limerick, Ireland, Bemidji, Minnesota, Baltimore, Oromia, Africa, hello Oromia, Cheverly, Maryland, California Love, Green Mountain, North Carolina, San Diego, California, Off Grid, Louisiana, Minneapolis, Boise, Idaho, Athens, Georgia, Elk River, Minnesota, England, Ohio, Hudson, Wisconsin, hello Hudson, Pittsburgh, Cumbria, England, Catawissa, Pennsylvania, Champlin, Minnesota, U.S. Virgin Islands, Shady Sands, California, Portland, Georgia, New Brighton and Minneapolis, Minnesota, Philadelphia, North Minneapolis, Nigeria, Oklahoma, Buffalo, New York, Corbin, Kentucky. Yeah, no, Austin, Texas, Pasadena, Iowa City, Madison, Wisconsin, Brooklyn Center, Minnesota. Whew, man. Yeah, so this means, there's no hung jury, right? Like, that's what we know right now. There's no hung jury. Okay, so the verdict came back quicker than we might have thought, right? Like, coming right through strong, clear decision, no hung jury whatsoever. Erie, Pennsylvania, Guadalajara, Mexico, Camden, Minneapolis, Worcester, Massachusetts, Bronx, New York, Salt Lake City, Northeast Minneapolis, Seattle, Decatur, Georgia, Whole World's Watching, Banff, Alberta, Uptown, Michigan, Brazil, St. Paul, Chicago, Lagos, Nigeria, Blue Springs, Missouri, Sweet Home, Alabama, downtown Minneapolis, Manitoba, Cleveland, Ohio, St. Paul. It is moving fast. Salzburg, Austria. It's the first Austria. Sheboygan, Wisconsin. St. Louis Park, Minnesota, Portland, Oregon, Eagan, Minnesota, Ireland, Orange County, California, Pennsylvania, Hinsdale, New York, Tulsa, Savannah, Georgia, Wausau, Wisconsin, Ottawa, Canada, New Hope, St. Lucia, Colorado City, Utah, Tajikistan, Wyoming, St. Paul, Toledo, Ottawa, Dallas, State College, Pennsylvania, Sellersville, Pennsylvania, New Orleans, Costa Mesa, California, Miami, Florida, Sunnyvale Trailer Park, Nova Scotia, of course, Black Hills, Antarctica, right? Knoxville, Tennessee, Denver, Tennessee, Pittsburgh, Seattle, Czech Republic, Tbilisi, Georgia, Spokane, Washington, San Francisco, London, Hopkins, Tuscaloosa, Allentown. All right. We don't have the press conference live right now. This popped up really quick on us, so we're just moving our pieces, but we're staying on top of things. Michigan, Rosemount, Lake City, Minnesota, Wayzata, Austin, Texas, Sebastopol, California, Seattle, Albuquerque, Spanaway, Washington, New Zealand, baby, Bosnia, Love, Sweden, Cardiff, Wales, Belize, Bellingham, Washington, South St. Paul, Minnesota, Piqua, Ohio, Menominee Falls, Minneapolis, Queens, New York, Bochum, Germany, Arkansas, Toronto, Salt Lake City, Hagerstown, Maryland, Nova Scotia, St. Peters, Rosemount, Philippines, Bronx, Sweden. Whew. All right, so Harlem, Mogadishu, Somalia, State College, Pennsylvania. So let's just I'll mention, since so this is closing out. The verdict's ending. This 28-day project. If you want to get more updates from Unicorn Riot going forward, you see those links up at the upper right corner of our website, or down there on the bottom is the social media links. That really is good. You can sign up to get our occasional newsletter down there to help stay in touch, right? Because social media doesn't always help out these independent publishers. So it's really good to have those social media options. We got a new story about what happened to the press. Nico got that story up. There's a video in there showing how our equipment got damaged pretty gratuitously when Nico got detained last week. So we're just sort of taking a look at that. The next story there, Black and Yellow at George Floyd Square, Asian Solidarity Rally. If you guys want to see something that is much more relaxing than all these terrible police actions, the Solidarity Rally was really cool. We went up live for 4 hours. Nico kind of hung out in a greenhouse during a rainstorm and interviewed people that have been regulars at the square, talking about how people have almost kind of been making almost kind of pilgrimages from all around the world to come to the square and stuff like that, and what the regulars were sort of thinking of all these people coming in, which was very interesting. It was good to get that perspective as this situation kind of resolves, as it as we move into the next phase, as we're sort of putting this behind us, hopefully putting this behind us, right? So so the verdict, we're expecting it within the next 15-17 minutes or so. It's definitely going to be happening fairly soon, before 4 o'clock Central. It's just sort of an estimate time on there, but next 15 minutes. We did see Judge Cahill moving around up in the judge's platform up there. We saw him moving a bit. It's been really good to just connect with lots of people, try to get across the facts of the case, try to get perspective out there. So we're all nervous, right? But it seems pretty clear, right? It seems like there's so much evidence, right? There's was it 40 witnesses, all these days of testimony, between the jury selection being 28 days plus all the days in court proceedings, right? This verdict happened pretty quick, and so it seems like a pretty strong, clear determination, right? And it's crazy too. We had this moment where Maxine Waters talked on our live stream a little bit on Saturday night, and then that became treated as a very big deal in the national press, just from kind of a straightforward interview. I won't run it right now, but that was it. And I heard Alan Dershowitz say on Court TV that the Supreme Court would get involved and blah blah blah, and I just thought it was pretty strange that they're making such a big deal that this one person from Congress said something, considering that during this trial, let's remember that the city of Minneapolis made a settlement of more than $20 million to George Floyd's family, which is a way bigger deal than one person in Congress coming to say something at the barricades for 3 minutes. That was also a big deal. Minnesota hasn't seen a trial like this before, so have a little perspective that maybe Maxine Waters saying things is not that big of a deal. But I just had to editorialize on that a little bit because it blew up so big. So we're gonna run Beyond the Barricades, which is a look at George Floyd Square and the community that's come together there as we wait for the verdict. I'll sort of set up a split screen so you guys can see it coming in. And again, I really appreciate everyone in the Unicorn Riot Collective working hard on this thing, and we have been trying to tweet the trial, right? Because it's a very traumatic thing to deal with. All of the playback, the body camera footage, the eyewitness footage, all of that stuff's really traumatic. And it was striking too that Eric Nelson decided to replay those painful body camera clips during his closing arguments, which was a bold sort of Hail Mary thing to do, considering how traumatic they are, right? But it's been good. It's been good to have the tweets and the sort of the written coverage and all of that, because we wanted to help people, because everyone, in the community wanted to follow the twists and the turns without necessarily being exposed to that painful audio and video so directly. So we tried to do that and put a lot of effort into like that tweeting, into like that, condensing of everything. And I think that was helpful. I think that really helped everybody kind of process this thing. So we do really appreciate that. We appreciate your support. And, again, it makes a big difference if you can share our work out there. Unicorn Riot's a 501c3 nonprofit media organization, and it helps a lot to get our work out there. So, I appreciate, well, never mind. Okay, so I'm going to run Beyond the Barricades. Again, you can check out our channel on Vimeo and on YouTube, and it has a lot of edited clips, and we're pushing more clips into there kind of regularly. So just subscribe to the Vimeo and the YouTube channel especially, and that is much appreciated, because again, we're not a big corporate company. We don't have broadcast towers. We just have to reach everyone through the internet, and we also don't like to buy advertising, right? We aren't going to buy ads from Facebook just to let people know what we're doing. So just keep sharing the stuff out there, and it's really appreciated. So I'm going to run Beyond the Barricades. As we wait, we will bring it right back as soon as people start moving around. Thank you all for joining us. Again, I'm Dan, and it's been an honor to work on this with all of you. So thank you very much, everyone.
There's a community that exists, and even if the police were to roll over this place, the people will come right back, and the barricades will come right back up, and they're not going to be able to quash this space.
No justice.
No streets.
No justice.
No streets.
No justice.
No streets.
Lord, let me tell you that the city killed a man. Yes. And that is why we are here. That is why the community is standing for justice and asking and demanding for justice.
This street does not belong to you anymore, City of Minneapolis. You're going to have to negotiate. You're going to have to give us some justice if you want that street back.
After George Floyd was murdered, the barricades went up and the demand went out. And those demands, the Justice Resolution, has played a very, very key role in establishing this as a space of protest and establishing this as an autonomous zone. That's been the reason the barricades stay up.
It's for holding the police accountable, it's for demanding justice, and it's also demanding structural changes and investments into the community.
It isn't any one individual demand, it is a collection of needs and wants from this community saying, these are the things that we need in order to move forward to heal. And it's just talking about the beginning steps. And so we're talking about merely $155 million over the course of 10 years, which is really not a huge amount of money when we're talking about the oppression and the systematic racism that has kept this community down from the beginning.
But we understand that this is not the beginning, neither is this the end to justice. Play your role. We're not asking you, we're demanding, play your role. Bring the resources. We have the healers, we have the teachers. Quit pimping us. Quit prostituting us. Expecting us to run into a burning building with a water gun. Give us the resources so that we can now heal our own lands with our own bodies. People who look like us, sound like us, move like us, and think like us.
What can change, or what can be different, or what can be better, or what can happen where we're okay to opening up the streets if we say no justice, no street. And yeah, the 20 to 4 demands is here, but that's just a scratch on the surface, because that doesn't really say Black liberation.
GFS has utilized a partial demand very, very well to prop up the space, and it's a partial demand in the sense that it's not necessarily demanding the complete collapse of the world capitalist system. We say that we hold the space until the demands are met, and the city certainly does not want to meet the demands, and so they won't take back the space. So we're in a sort of crossfire.
They're going to have to meet those demands before we give up 38th Street. We're not giving it up. 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 No no justice, no streets.
One of the big things about how things are defeated beforehand, it's when you don't develop processes and systems that can continue to keep themselves up. At GFS, every day there's a meeting in the morning and a meeting in the night. And that has been one of the ways that like community has really, really developed. And like you look around here, you see like bus stops turned into storage, bus stops turned into a people's closet. You see bookshelves going up. You see we've got a medical shed. We've got a greenhouse.
We've got a library. 612 MASH is a medic organization that operates out of the square. And there's this People's Way. This is a public space, you know, it's a public meeting space, and it's a public space of a real like community and joy and unity. And it's a sacred space, you know, and it's a space of grieving and also of liberation. And so for people who are coming in here, you know, people come from all over. It's almost a pilgrimage site in that way. I think it's something really to be said about how the common spaces and collectively maintained spaces have been like eroded by capitalism. You can see this as a return of the commons in a lot of ways.
In the ruins of capitalism, we've built something new, and something that sort of leaders in the square, Marsha especially, has said before. This is a blueprint for how society can be, you know, how society can be organized, how we can develop community and come here together and meet the needs of the community. Because every day there are people who are unhoused who will come here sort of to find sanctuary. They'll come here and they'll get fed, they'll get clothed, and they'll get resources to get housed. And that's a thing that literally the state has been unable to provide. And the fact that community has been able to come in and fulfill that role it spells out exactly why this is the way of the future and not the way of the state.
It looks like many things at many times a day if you've been in this square. But in all those hours of every day, it still looks like community. It's community.
I'm out here with my passion. I'm out here for my feelings, or because somebody else told me to, or somebody had to convince me to be out here, or somebody to convince for me to stay out here every day. No, I made up my mind when it all happened, and this is home. Like, look, this is home. I done ran down these streets.
In my first meeting that I came with a close friend of mine, I was instantly sold, because how they embrace black people, especially the black man in this community, I mean, it's beautiful. I've never had a chance to experience this much black love in the area. No hatred, no undercutting. They just want to see the success of a black man here, and that's pretty much what brought me here.
What made me start was at the uprising, the space was filled with hundreds and hundreds of people. So I came out during the evenings, about 5-ish, and stayed till like maybe 6 a.m. or something like that. I barbecued right on the street every night at 9:45, especially when they broke out the curfew. When they broke out the curfew, that we had to be in the house at about 10 p.m., or we're gonna get a citation and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, we ain't going home. Spark grills at 9:45, and barbecued until I ran out of food. Costly, very, very costly, because barbecue is not cheap whatsoever, but it kept the square fed at the time. Food makes people happy. Food brings people together. I didn't think I was gonna come out here and be feeding people for 6 months. No. I don't get paid for what I do. That's just out the genuine of my heart. Just like we needed to secure the space and make sure it needed to be secured. Until we find out exactly who's gonna do that all day, every day, I'll take some of my time.
If you're stationed on a barricade, it's keeping an eye out for the police.
We're gonna hold this down. They got an army, we got our own army. It don't matter. They want to call this the United States. It's not the United States. We're not with the system. We are showing them how united we can actually be. So as of that, we're gonna be careful and be aware. And to be aware is to be alive. So be careful out here in every state, for real, and be well protected. And that's all I gotta say. Now I'm gonna have to watch out for everybody.
And it's, opening and closing for residents coming in and out. At certain barricades have like gates that we open and close so people can still get in and out of the space to their homes. We're not trying to inconvenience anybody. We have masks, bottled water, snacks, basic resources like this that we'll pass out to people and we'll greet people coming into the space. I think like the sort of first importance of this space is as a memorial, as a sacred space for grieving a black man who was murdered by the state. And I think it's also grown into a really like powerful autonomous community of mutual aid, and really not just envisioning but enacting a community that is as free as we can be from policing and from the United States as a settler colonial fascist government.
GFS it's kind of the epicenter of an uprising, right? And it's been operating very well as a staging ground for other types of struggles that are ongoing in the area, whether that be stuff for Line 3, whether that be stuff in the housing movement, all types of racial justice movements. It's been sort of a center for activists all across the city.
There's many memorials in this space. The biggest ones are for George Floyd, but there's also the Street of Names and Say Their Names Cemetery, which are both really, really moving, large-scale testaments to the memories of lives stolen by the police. And there's also plenty of individual memorials. Murphy Ranks' memorial is down the street there. And honestly, there's so many that really shows the power of this space to hold testament to so many, as well as to George Floyd, you know, first and foremost.
Because it ain't like we ain't got homes to go to. It ain't like we ain't got lives outside of the square, because we do. We're just learning how to maintain and juggle what life is and what the square is. Love you, babe.
No justice, no streets. If they want these streets, they got to get into these demands. We got solidarity, y'all. We here. They want a little bit of street. They got to give us a little bit of justice.
Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Dan at Unicorn Riot. Thank you all for tuning in. Again, you know, if you're new to Unicorn Riot, please check out our work at unicornriot.ninja. We're just waiting right now. Everyone's obviously wondering what the heck is going to happen. You know, people are in George Floyd Square right now. People are downtown. A lot of things are shutting down early. Check out our website for updates, and please subscribe, you know, for the latest of what's going on. So we're going to take a look again at the reporter reflections. We'll just kind of go through, or actually, sorry, 1 second. So it's you know, it's a lot, right? It's a lot's been building to this moment. This is a moment we've been waiting for since last summer. We can see people, you know, in the plexiglass. That's probably the defendant, Derek Chauvin, right there, right now. So I'm gonna keep running clips for a little bit here as we wait. And we do, everyone, we really appreciate your support, and we'll definitely keep it on very close watch as we're waiting. So thank you all.
I will be hanging dog chains on this fence to see how those fucks feel about cutting down their own. Let's see how they feel about that. Because I'm a veteran that fought an unjust war. 14 months in Afghanistan watching my friends get murdered. Coming home and some of them killing themselves. Some by suicide by cop. Because they couldn't live with what they did. They couldn't live with their friends that they saw get mowed down. So since they're all standing around on our dime with nothing to do anyway, let's see how they feel when they have to cut down some of their own. Lavina Jackson, who was murdered and missing, a black woman from overseas, raped and murdered. Vanessa Guillen from Fort Hood. There is a long list of names of black and brown people that because of poverty, they joined the military to try to create a better life for themselves. Stop giving them soldiers and there won't be any militarization. You don't got to join the military, join your community. Find some beauty in your community.
So then you have one that has, now they are starting to spread out So we heard Sam talking about giving them something they don't want to cut down earlier. Here's the dog tags, and here's the National Guard.
I hope y'all remember what you're doing this for and who you represent. I took the same oath you did. I'm a vet. Do not cut these tags down. Do not cut these tags down. If you do, you're definitely going to feel some kind of way about it. Maybe you feel some kind of way about those rocks, but you're definitely going to feel some kind of way about these tags. Do not cut these down. These are your brother, sister, and people that served before you that are gone. Either because they died in war, they died because when they got back, they couldn't handle the survivor's guilt, or they died just plain old fighting an unjust war. These are the tags of those individuals. Vanessa Guillen, Laverne Johnson, my best friend and specialist that stood next to me as a sergeant, and when she died, I had to look to my left every morning. When I gave my report every morning, I had to look to my left and my sister was gone. She was 20 years old. She didn't get to become the doctor she wanted to become. I guarantee you that if she was still here today, she'd be standing right beside me. But instead, she's on a fucking dog tag. Say that. She's on a dog tag. And my sister is not here. And I used to stand there in that same uniform for 4 years of my life because I wanted to get an education and go to college. And what I got was damage because they didn't value me. They didn't value me at all. They sent me home with PTSD to figure it out. This is me figuring it out. I know who I am and I know where I stand, and I still take that oath seriously to defend against domestic terrorists. We're not it. And I think all of you know that. Yeah, I was a sergeant in the United States Army. 14 months in Afghanistan. I left when my baby was 3 months old. I came back and he was walking and talking. He didn't even know who I was. For a country that doesn't appreciate the sacrifice. Every one of these dog tags is the name of a black or a brown or indigenous soldier who lost their life because they don't care about us. We can't keep militarizing. Y'all know this is bullshit. Putting y'all here, making you sleep on floors, making you stand there as if you're doing anything. We don't need you to protect the buildings. We don't need you to protect them from us. We need you to protect us from them. And when the time comes, and mark my words, the time will come. Fascism is not over. Trumpism is not over. When the time comes, you five and everybody else that you serve with and everybody that you look to your left when you give your report at the beginning, at the end of the day, you all are going to have to decide what side you stand on. And you all need to remember who you took that oath to. You took it to the American people. I'm an American person. They're an American person. We're all American people because we're here with our boots on the ground, with $1 million worth of this shit that we gotta pay for. The $35 million it costs for us to pay for you to sleep on floors and be treated poorly. So you remember that. You remember that when they ask you to do something that is against the oath that you took and you stand your fucking ground. Right. That's the oath that you took. Not to them, but to us, the country. So you remember that when it comes up. You too coming up. You make sure you talk to them. I'm not doing this to admonish you. I'm doing this to make you remember. And when they force y'all to cut these off, you're cutting down one of your own. That could have easily been on the other side of that fence if they had the opportunity to live. They don't get to stand on that side of the fence, nor this side of the fence, because they're gone. You're on the wrong side.
I blocked your way, I'm sorry. Good?
Hey!
Good? You can see?
You know what? We're going to kill these all up as one, because they are all one.
My son used to look up to you. Not anymore.
Thank you, Samantha. Yep.
This is what community looks like.
That's right.
Not that. Not that.
away, but it's in your fucking brain.
You have to step into your own power and realize that only we can liberate ourselves. They are not going to liberate us. They are not going to liberate us. We are going to liberate us. Don't be scared to come into the streets. You see anything scary here? I don't. The only thing scary I see here are cops and government officials that don't give a damn. They're derelict in their duties. They're inept. These are not the leaders that we need. We are the leaders that we need. Whether we're in their halls of power or the ones that we need to build for ourselves. So I'm asking you today to make sure that you're getting involved and that you're elevating your consciousness above, not just marching, not just holding up a sign, not just looking the part, but acting the part. Because until we do, we are never going to build the future that we want to see. And we will continue to march, and we will continue to yell, but it is not just about organizing, it is not just about activism. You have got to mobilize.
Hey, what's up everyone? This is Dan from Unicorn Riot. Thank you so much for tuning in on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter. We are expecting the verdict to get read out shortly. The back-end video system from the court pool video has been a little strange, so we're just going to keep on trying to keep it connected, but if it drops, don't be surprised. And thank you all for joining us, and if you aren't familiar with Unicorn Riot, take out a look at our website, unicornriot.ninja. We keep a lot of stuff going in there. We have a new post up about what the police did, and see, there it goes again. Come on video feed, you can do it now. Today's the day. Sorry. So we have a news story about what happened with the media and all that, all the problems there, and during Operation Safety Net. We have a nice, much more relaxing 4-hour live stream from the Asian Solidarity Rally down at George Floyd Square. And I think we will probably be able to bring you George Floyd Square in a little bit. I will check in on that. I'll see if I can bring it in soon enough, hopefully. And again, you know, we're just waiting right now for this whole thing to come down. Someone saying the jurors didn't ask questions. I'll assume that that is probably true, considering how fast it went. So everyone just hang in there. We're going to keep on staying connected with this. We have seen the judge appear on the live stream. I've seen reflections in the plexiglass, which is usually a sign that the defendant is in the room. So obviously they're going to have the family coming back. They're going to have, you know, the whole world's media seems to be present right now in this whole thing. So we're just going to hang here. We're going to run, I think, the Reporter Reflections series. That's what we'll hold on while we're waiting here. And, you know, just hang in there. We should really have it within the next 20 minutes or so. And thank you all for joining us again. I'm Dan at Unicorn Riot, and we really appreciate your support. If you want to see these previous days, right, we tried to run the feeds from jury selection, from all the different points along the process, as long as we had access. A rare opportunity to go into the Minnesota court system, and it's been fascinating to follow that process. So if you'll give me 1 second, I'm just going to take care of some back-end things here as we keep our fingers crossed that the video feed system will chill out and stabilize. Okay, great. We are, and yeah, give me 1 second. We'll be running Beyond the Barricades, and then we'll try to bring it to you live in a moment, please. Thank you all so much for your support, everyone.
whole war that ain't got nothing to do with the war that I'm sitting in. Because it's been systematically built for this to be a war zone. Just like right now, we interfere with a whole light rail that goes up right now, right here up Chicago. That's why they want us to move so bad. Trying to move the black people up out of here in silence. But now we're revealing everything. I'm gonna be a target after today, because you know what? It's on the table now. We on the table. Hey, it's on the table now. I've been quiet for a whole year. It's on the table now.
They said nothing.
Everything that I'm telling y'all right now, I've been whispering in everybody's ear. Because people don't understand that why these barriers is here. To make a whole statement. We were revealing everything and showing ass in the process. And I'm okay with that. So, after this verdict, what y'all gonna do? So I'm gonna be right here. I'm gonna be fighting, strategizing in ways because they fighting and strategizing against us. So what we gonna do? Because it ain't about your skin color, because race is a figment of your imagination that you choose to believe. What is it called? The Bill of Rights?
Live right now. This is live.
They say we're not even
fully
human.
We're just adjusting it a little bit as it comes in. Give us one moment here, but yeah, this is
All right.
live right now. Thank you.
Constitution, one of the two. I don't even care to know it because it don't apply to me. I'm not gonna memorize something that don't apply to me. Just like they said, all men are equal. But then they turned around and looked at the slaves in his backyard. You wasn't talking about me. So this don't apply to me. So now that we're revealing the system for really what it is, because we don't need the police need us. Just like right now, all these military around here for what? What are we doing? We just standing here being black. That's enough to threat for just all these military people. All these military people. We got almost as many military people as Afghanistan do. We small. Afghanistan is a big space.
Welcome everybody. We're here live at George Floyd Square. This is Nico from Unicorn Riot. While we wait on the verdict, we're reporting here live from the George Floyd Square, the spot where George Floyd was killed by Derek Chauvin. This is Mylisha, George Floyd Square regular, that's speaking right now.
Let me, y'all at the A, so let me break down terms that I use around here. So there's the white people, then there's the white people. The W-Y-P-I-O-P-O. I think I spelled it right. White people. Two different set of people. So the white people ran into the Capitol. They ain't send nobody, they ain't even send the police. They ain't send the police. They got to be comfortable, put their feet on the table, sit on the edge of the couches, do shit that they would not do at their own mama house. But didn't get no consequence. I said, we still ain't heard what was the result of them doing what they was doing. They privilege. What is justice? Don't nobody know what justice looks like because we ain't never had it. Old court in the streets. Come on now, we ain't never had it. How we asking for something we ain't never had? Justice is in the eye of the beholder. That determines on who you ask. Who you ask. Because everybody answer around here what justice is going to change. It might be similar, but terms mean different things. That's why I be like, be mindful what it is that you say and mean what it is that you say. Because terms is everything. I just had this guy come in here and interview me. He's like, are you ready to tell the story of what's going on here? How you going to, you labeled it as a story. A story, there's a beginning, middle, and the end. I don't know what part of where we at in this story right now for me to be telling you a story. Okay. Just like everybody like, oh, this is a museum. No, a museum is something that you reveal to tell a story. You got pieces. This is only a little bit of what was out here. Come on, now, how can we tell you something that we ain't done experiencing yet? You gonna be guilty? Or like, or just like everybody like, well, how are you doing? How are you doing? How are you mentally abstaining yourself? Find out, huh? And then like all these media people, okay, you come out here and get trouble. What do you do? Are you here to help? The other day I was out of Brooklyn Center. Everybody know I don't leave the square. I said this is the square. If anybody don't know who the square is, this is the square. It's like a rectangle, but we call it a square. So I let the go get my support. you know, stand in solidarity with what's happening over in Brooklyn Center. CNN came out there, and everybody know how we is around here. The media don't come in. Because what are y'all here for? For nothing. So we seen me, I seen CNN out there, and I asked them. They out there interviewing people. I'm like, no, I'm here with the community. I'm here for the community. I'm here to interview you. So I got the question. I mean, overall, the question was, are you here to help? What are you doing to help? You CNN, you got all these, and I asked how many followers you. He's like millions. You got millions of followers.
Millions.
So you mad that I called you out and asked you, was you here to help? And what boldly said, no, we ain't here to help.
Boldly?
Boldly.
Damn.
Boldly. With his chest as a white man.
Dude, lying.
You coming around all these black people to tell us, you ain't here to help. That's like going to Africa, looking at the starving kids like, no, I ain't got no food for y'all.
Eating some food though.
Wait a minute. What? Here go to the food though. I got all the knowledge in the world already. I'm home. So you here, so he got assaulted. I don't agree with it nor disagree with it. I'm with my people. I understand why he got assaulted. I don't. But all y'all media people out here, all these resources y'all got, all this network, everybody knows somebody. Like just like right now, I've had somebody out here working in the health. There's a health person out here. Somebody probably out here with mental health and stuff like that. We all connected, got some type of resources, some type of way, shape, or form. Why do we need the system to tell us to do for our own people? Y'all waiting on, do I really gotta print up some applications? Hey, we need some mental health people. We need some people to hear to help feed the people. We need people to watch some kids. We need this, and that. But y'all waiting for somebody to be like, hey, I'm gonna need for you to come out here and do this because I know this is your skill set. You know your skill set, why you waiting on somebody else to tell you? Didn't nobody have to come out here and be like, Malisha, people out here hungry, feed them. No, I just seen all. I love her. Hey, I love somebody brought me some hand warmers. Ain't nobody shaking for me or nothing. Black lives, they matter now. But yeah, so what are y'all about to do within yourselves? Y'all all went to school. For something. Even if it was just high school, y'all smart, y'all intelligent, y'all geniuses. Y'all waiting on somebody else to tell y'all. Yes! Black lives, they matter now. 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 No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. And we're gonna prosecute the police. Prosecute the police. Say what? Prosecute the police. Fuck that. Fuck this whole system. Fuck the police. Fuck all that. Fuck all that. Come on now. Y'all allowing the police. We pay for them. We pay for the police. We pay for the military. We pay for all this. How y'all go? Y'all waiting on somebody. Y'all waiting on somebody to tell y'all. What y'all supposed to be doing?
So as the nation waits for the verdict in the Derek Chauvin trial for the killing of George Floyd, we look at George Floyd's last resting place.
I lived out here for 22 years. I've been here, I'm from this neighborhood. You've been watching this shooting all this time. Okay. That's why I be like, how do you slowly okay with you? Like, oh, I've been around for 30 years. So you've been okay with how everything has been going, everything that's been happening. You don't want to do nothing about it. But now we're invading your space because we make you uncomfortable. Because now we're calling you out for being a part of the system that has me fucked up. Black lives, they matter now. Black lives, they matter now. Black lives, they matter now.
Black lives, they matter now. Black lives, they matter now. Black lives, they matter now.
For real, I want all the people that know they've been out here for 11 months. All the people that's been out here fighting this battle. Rain, snow, fall asleep. Where y'all at? It's more than us. Where y'all at? Huh?
They got thin in the winter.
Wait a minute.
They got thin in the winter.
Wait a minute. Everybody that was on 38th Street, rain, snow, fall asleep for the 11 months. Where y'all at?
There's only a few of us out here right now. Oh, there go one right there.
Where y'all at? Stand up.
One right there.
Stand up.
Oh, there go that black man right there. Yeah, he was out there too.
Wow. I'm asking for a reason.
They're scared.
Marshall House, where you at? You love the camera.
I know.
I like my boy.
Well, look at y'all know. Let me share a little something with y'all that y'all need to know. They said y'all scared to come out here. It's dangerous. But y'all out here right now. How dangerous are y'all right now?
Y'all feel that?
Y'all feel dangerous? Do y'all feel scared? Is any of y'all feeling scared out here? No. But what they say about 38th Street? What they say, talk to us. We don't bite.
Can I get a walkie-talkie?
What they say about 38? Dangerous. It's dangerous. But you know 38th Street is your safe haven. Yes. 38th Street is your safe haven. Y'all hear me? Y'all might not understand my terms, but I'm trying to take y'all somewhere. All y'all news peoples out here, I want y'all to go back and tell y'all airlines. Y'all airliners. Go back and tell your airlines they go for the government, the mayor, the president, and anybody else. Let them know that y'all came out here on 38th Street and you still alive. For real.
Get the t-shirt.
Go let them know that y'all all came on, all y'all news reporters, CNN, ABC, CBC, DBC, whoever y'all is.
Independent.
Y'all came out here on 38th
I went to study at Chicago. I'm still alive. I survived it. Yeah, I got all my money, my wallet.
We live. I got my car still parked over there.
Are they alive? Are the news reporters alive? Are the news reporters alive?
Most of them.
Are they safe? Is anybody safe?
We're live at George Floyd Square, where the mainstream has said this is a no-go zone.
Y'all safe. Wait, but seriously. We got to worry about our next generation. Our next generation is our important generation. Let me share something with y'all. Wait. They feel about they take our next generation, we won't rise. But our next generation is important. We get justice for George Floyd. Our next justice is for Dante Wright. Let's not forget that we got to stand in solidarity for him. 20-year-old man got killed. That's our next generation. That's a part of us. That's a part of you. If we don't protest, and if we don't do the things that we do now, this is what I'm saying. That we all got to make a change. Oh, I tell my people this morning, y'all all sit here with solidarity with us. Hey, newsman, over there. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. Excuse me.
The black ball.
Sir. Go get him, Ellie. The black man.
Yeah, you.
White man.
Yeah, you.
Yeah.
Back over there. All the way about now. All the way about where the people that got the power, the news carry.
right there. Yeah, light. Yep. We need y'all to understand
At least a
we're
few hundred
public
people are up
defenders.
here at George Floyd Square at the moment. A lot of press has come as well.
Yes. I need him to be quiet. Hey! Sir! I need peace and quiet. They can record what they're doing when 38th Street get through talking. This is our street. Whose street? Our street. Whose street? Our street. Newsman, you're going to be escorted out of here. And we good at that. We like doing that if we don't. Sir, he's going to be escorted out of here. All you peoples, we need to let y'all be aware for real. I'm trying to talk about our next generation. The court should have been held on the street. Our 20-year-old young man that got killed. We need to think about our next generation. Nobody's talking about our next generation. The 13-year-old boy just got killed in Chicago. Our generation, they are trying to take our generation away from us. We have to all help and defeat to save our generation. For real. Minnesota, this is slavery. Minnesota is slavery, I said. And I didn't bite my tongue. This is a slavery state. Y'all just throw y'all up on the couch and tuck it under. But I'm from Greenville, Mississippi. I'm from Greenville, Mississippi, where slavery is real at. And slavery still exists. And slavery exists right here, right now, today in Minnesota. This is a slavery state. It is. They kill our people and they throw it on the hand. But not no more. Not no more. Not no more. For God I live. And for God I will die. That we're going to make a change. And the change is being made. We have made history. And you know how we made history? How many of y'all know? Nobody gonna know how we made history. The black people made history in the state of Minnesota. It never happened in no state you ever been to. Who is that man? George Floyd. Who is that man? George Floyd. Who is that man? George Floyd. God allowed this man to change lives. This man. That was the best of them. So it starts with him and it's going to end with us. Everybody say us. 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 We got to make the change within. I tell the people this morning, if the police was to pull us over as a black person and you see the police doing something to us, don't go in your house and close your doors. Please don't. We ask you guys to come out and record whatever you see. Don't let the police be afraid. Don't be afraid. Because they're not going to do nothing to y'all. Trust me. If you guys stand in front of us, they're not going to do nothing to y'all. They're going to do it to us. So we need you all to stand up with us. Every white supremacy out here. I need y'all to, I'm going to call y'all, this is who I am. I am 6 and 12, 3 and 9. I need all white supremacy. Please, stand in solidarity with us. Please, we beg y'all. We need y'all. We need y'all. When y'all see these police doing stuff, don't stop and record. Please, I beg you guys. The gatekeepers don't have no more to say. I have gave my heart to you guys today. And I don't talk a lot. But I'm giving it to y'all today because I want y'all to understand that Minnesota is a slavery state. Stop tucking your tail and putting it behind your behind. Okay? We know this. It's in the suburbs peoples out here. I know it should be a lot of suburb peoples out here. But anyway, y'all understand what we're saying. Right here, in the heart of the city, we need the white supremacists that's in here. For real. I'm serious. We need y'all.
So again, as we wait for the verdict of Derek Chauvin murder trial,
and beat up about it.
We look at George Floyd's resting place.
But let me tell y'all this. God brought each and every last
A few hundred have gathered here at George Floyd Square. This is the gatekeeper speaking at the moment. Here's Cut Foods.
The Bible said the first one here is coming. The Bible say this. George Floyd! 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 Who they calling George Floyd's name? Is that something? Hello, hey! Our streets! Our streets! Our streets! Our streets! Our streets! Our streets! Yo, man! If you out there saying whose streets, I need you to come out here to make sure you know these is our streets. Where you at, brother?
Holding space out here.
Whole streets, we need you to come over here. Can I get one of my
We see
boys
the
to
distance
stand H
right in the
Whole street?
background of these folks is the greenhouse. We got the, you can see the bookshelf over here, community bookshelf. Some community out here at George Floyd Square.
Whole street? And we mean that shit.
Out here.
We mean that shit. We mean that shit. We meant that shit. And we mean that word we
I love
say.
you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
Our street. Is that your street? Your street. You gotta say it. Let it be known. Whose street? Our street. 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 We mean that shit. We mean that. We mean that.
I be screaming in my
This is the longest standing autonomous zone in American history besides intentional communities from my understanding
No
and
justice!
my research.
No street! No justice!
That's the moniker out here. No justice, no streets.
No justice!
There's 24 demands that this community is holding this space, seeking those demands to get met.
I wrote this hat for a reason to tell all y'all, do something.
All right, please be seated. Members of the jury, I will now read the verdicts as they will appear in the permanent records of the 4th Judicial District. State of Minnesota, County of Hennepin, District Court, 4th Judicial District. State of Minnesota Plaintiff versus Derek Michael R20-12646. We, the jury, in the 4:44 p.m. Signed, juror 4-person, juror number 19. Same caption, verdict count 2. We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to count 2, find the defendant guilty. This verdict agreed to this 20th day of April 2021, 1:45 p.m. Signed by jury 4-person, juror number 19. Same caption, verdict count 3. We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to count 3, second-degree manslaughter, culpable negligence, creating an unreasonable risk, find the defendant guilty. This verdict agreed to this 20th day of April 2021 at 1:45 p.m. Jury Jury foreperson 019. Members of the jury, I'm now going to ask you individually if these are your true and correct verdicts. Please respond yes or no. Juror number 2, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 9, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 19, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 27, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 44, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 52, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 55, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 79, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 85, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 89, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 91, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 92, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Are these your verdicts, so say you one, so say you all?
Yes.
Members of the jury, I find that the verdicts as thank you on behalf of the people of the state of Minnesota for not only jury service, but heavy-duty jury service. What I'm going to ask you to do now is follow the deputy back in your usual room, and I will join you in a few minutes to answer questions and to advise you further. So, all rise for the jury. All right, be seated. With the guilty verdicts returned, we're going to have Blakely, you may file a written argument as to Blakely factors within 1 week. The court will issue findings on the Blakely factors, the factual findings, 1 week after that. We'll order a PSI immediately returnable in 4 weeks. And we will also have a briefing on, after you get the PSI, 6 weeks from now, and then 8 weeks from now we will have sentencing. We'll get you the exact dates in a scheduling order. Is there a motion on behalf of the state?
Your Honor, the state would move to have the court revoke the defendant's bail and remand him into custody pending sentencing.
Bail is revoked, bond is discharged, and the defendant is remanded to the custody of the Hennepin County Sheriff. Anything further?
Oh,
all right. Thank you.
Beauty bookshelf is that little blue house. That fence right behind
We're adjourned.
We're putting locks of anyone that you love, whether or not it's from police violence, whether or not it's your mom or your dad or anything. Bring a lock and put it on that fence because we've been holding this down for over a year now. Shoot, less than a year now. Let me not make a mistake. But it's about so much more. And it's finally there. We're finally here. Guilty on all counts. We're finally here.
What do you want his sentencing to be?
What did you say?
What do you want Sullivan's sentencing to be?
It ain't up to me. Court should have been held on the streets. The only thing on the streets is the verdict. Court should have been on the streets. They should have. It's the same way. If I'm giving y'all a history lesson, it's the same way that when they were making these witches guilty and convicting them and burning them at the stake, they held their court on the streets. The same way that Washington, D.C. had Wall Street. They held that on the streets and they were trading people. What difference is this? It should have been out of a courtroom and on the streets. I'm just keeping it real.
Thank
I appreciate you, Nico. Thank you.
That's why I'm like, I'm glad that we didn't have to wait on the verdicts, and now we can really get to it.
How you feeling, sir? You want to talk?
I'm good. We just for a long time, but now it's time for action. And so that's where we are. We are in action at this time. And we moved this far and we want to move further. It's been too long like it was, but we want it now like it is.
Do you hope, what is your hope for Chauvin's sentencing?
Well, I feel the same way I did about the verdict. Whatever they do whatever they want. But what I want is what's best. But I won't call it. But we will let the law call it.
Thank you. Anything else you'd want to say right now?
Well, I just say to the people, I thank God for all of them and all of us who have come together. And what really matters to us that we forget colors and remember humans, and that's who we are. So we're just happy to coming together. All kind of people are here, and all of them are human people. So that's what we have to focus on today and from now on. So
thank you. Appreciate it. Taking the time, she said. How you all feeling? Can I ask you a question real quick?
Yeah, I was on with you guys earlier. Yeah, sit down with me if you're gonna ask me a question.
You can hold the mic if you would like.
No,
okay. How is this feeling right now for you?
How's it feeling?
Yes.
It's another day at the office.
Do you feel like some kind of reprieve have happened that Chauvin's been found guilty?
No. You expect results when the results are supposed to be expected. That's what you do. That's why I'm just happy to have a moment. This is why you come down and I sit down and have a conversation with this one here. And it's kind of reflect. Just reflect. This is what it's about. That. It makes it so easy to just come down and pay respect, but I needed to be here. Sanity is very important to folks. It's a human trait. People want to be good. So this is how I be good. I come sit, talk to Brother George, and keep the perspective, and the perspective that we knew was coming, that we expected to come is here. We prayed for it. And we got it. So now this country can look at this as an example of what happens when the community decides to handle business accordingly. This is just America handling business accordingly. So now we can get back to the basics and the beauty of life, right? Wrong. We still have to sit at the table. We still have to have a Q&A. We just have to be able to shake up. Like this one right here. That one is this you should be talking to.
Yep.
Because for me, this is why I'm here. I'm here for her. Like for the whole time. Like even when we met first night, we've been here for her. Even as a pastor, come sit down, honey. Like I need you to smell the roses on this. Somebody told me to step up and step back. And I think that's the base of how I do business, and everyone doesn't have a skill set like I have. But her skill set today, she don't even talk to y'all. But she went up here in front of the world and talked to all y'all. That's the whole blessing that you can get from people, is when someone is willing to get out of their comfort zone and talk to y'all. I'm so proud of her. But the fact that they asked her, you know what, never mind. I'm just happy for her. I'm happy for the community, and I'm happy for the world to actually see something happen. Now we can enjoy the roses until we get back to the next mission, and that's figuring out how to be an equal, greater country. There's only one way we can be a great country, and that's if we choose to all be great. Fair enough. And I see your tears, bro, because that's what you out here for. You with Miss Georgia. She's one of my friends. I love her to pieces, man. She out here getting hit with bullets and gas, and she's still out here. So if she out here, I'm definitely out here. And because you out here, you support my friend, bruh. Thank you for having that moment, because I want you to smell the roses. This ain't about me. It's about the gas that you and your staff took to get the truth out every single day. So don't think that doesn't go unnoticed. We know about what's going on. But I love y'all, Miss Georgia. Y'all meant the truth. But we got more work to do. Smell the roses, but we got more work to do. We are literally sitting, I need you to look at that. Like, how far away are we sitting from where that man lost his life? Let's look at that for a minute.
7 feet, 10 feet.
7 feet, 10 feet, right? So now this young black woman can have opportunity to learn how she can, no, this young woman, I'm not gonna say black woman, this young woman, this young American woman can learn how to be an American in such a way so that way she can embellish the pride in this country that she can have, for not only for them, but for her kids and her kids' kids. It's the little things in this country that we gotta remember, man. It's easy to preach it, but it's hard to practice. Again, not me. Every day. Every single day, 365 since we started. I can't thank enough the community people for even allowing me in here, bro. I don't live here. But if I gotta come here and do what I gotta do, I'm gonna do my part. We gonna pay some rent. We gonna bring some furniture. But to watch people grow, bro, that's the definition of America last time I checked, is to watch people go from a seed and grow into a flower to continue to make a garden so we can feed the world. How hard is that? It's not. But you lost a job, I done lost a job.
I quit my
You
job.
quit your job.
I ain't lose
I mean,
my job. I quit my
like
job.
how
They
beautiful
still call
is
me
it?
to this day. I quit
And
my
pray it
job.
every day. And pray it every day.
Pray.
My Lisa, how you feeling right now?
Yeah, how you feel? Right?
I don't know. It's nice to know I'm not crazy. That's how I feel. It's nice to know I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. So what I'm standing for, why these barriers are up, we not crazy. We not crazy. So as long as I'm not crazy. I've been spending this past year thinking I am mentally unstable, that I'm literally crazy. I just spent this past year thinking that I'm literally crazy. And the verdict just reassures me that I'm not crazy. That what it is that I'm dreaming for, I'm not crazy. What it is that I want and striving for and trying to do, I'm not crazy. Asking for the change that I'm asking for, I'm not crazy. Calling everything out for what it is, I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. That's all I keep thinking to myself right now, is that I'm not crazy. We just did the winter. I'm skinny. I don't do the cold. I do not do the cold. I don't do the cold. But some things we just had to do, and it doesn't bring George Floyd back. And it doesn't. What does this change? It changes a lot, but the military is here. All this is happening. Look at what's happening. Look at where we're living right now. Look at what we're experiencing in life right now. I'm not okay. I'm not happy at all. Everybody is happy about this verdict, but I can't say that I'm happy, if that makes sense. I want to be happy, I do. But like I was just telling people, this is not even the end of this war. It's not even the end of this war that we're fighting. So, because now that the verdict is here, we can finally get to business. Now we can talk about why this square is here. Now we can really get down to business, and that is a scary space, and it is terrifying to say the things that I said today publicly. Because, we talk, but I don't say things publicly, but now we're saying things publicly. It's now no longer just in the square.
You talked to me numerous times. Like everything you said,
Everything that I said, it's been, those people have heard it, but now it's publicly being said, and now it puts me in a space like, now we really starting a war. Really, because now we keep on saying, it was never about the police. It was never about the police. It's about the system itself. So now that we're saying that, now that the verdict is here, they're thinking that, we're supposed to just give them the streets back and all that other good stuff, and
don't work like that.
It doesn't work like that. I really wish I could go back to normal life. I remember you, love.
I just want to ask you 30-second question.
What's that, love?
Because he got killed over $20 bill, I got a bunch of 20 that I want to throw up in the air, just in memory of his life. Can I do that?
Let me get one first before you throw it.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
I just don't want to be disrespectful.
Here, come on. He wants to do something. Go ahead.
Okay.
Because you saying it's over $20, you got more than $20 to give. All this was over $20, and you say you want to give more than $20, right?
You know that Floyd was killed because of a $20 that allegedly is fake. And today is a celebration of his life and his memory.
Toss it over there. Give it to the people. Give it to the kids.
Thought I will give away a lot of $20 bills in his memory. These people who's hang around all these months and months and nights, cold nights, and hungry and protested and showed their concerns. This is the minimal as a business owner and a community member of this neighborhood for over 35 years that I can do. I just want to tell you that I love you. I know Floyd very well, seen for years. He's a wonderful man. God bless him. And I want to thank God for what have happened today. And thank God that Minnesota is a leading of this nation. Hopefully people will wake up and do something about this. This is history. This is a big day for many people in Minnesota and nationwide for what have happened. I want to thank God and again people like yourself.
Where do you come from, sir?
I'm just on 36 and.
You just right down the street? Okay.
Baby, I've been
you just part of the
Centro
you just a part of the community.
4 years.
Yes, yes.
So I just want to give away some money today. That's my giveaway. And
your offering. You can take an offering.
Can you help me? Can I get it out? Yeah. All right. We're gonna start with the stripper money.
Shut up! You so irritated. Talking about you got some stripper money. Here.
Open it up. You open up that.
I'm gonna throw these over here.
Good, please.
All right.
the 20s, man.
Here.
Give me one, man. Man, grab me
Here.
one. No, brother.
Here.
You're gonna be like every. Oh, you. Here, baby.
He's a part of Agape here.
All right.
Here.
Okay. This might cause a scene, man, out here with this.
Shit. If he wants to toss it here, come on, let's go bless the people.
Yes,
We're going to bless the people.
That's what's up, sis, man. What's up, sis?
Oh, shit. She making it rain on everybody.
Not my money, I'm just passing it. Oh. Hey, I love black people.
Oh, yeah.
Alicia, what are you doing?
Unicorn? Unicorn?
Yeah. They told me to toss it. Go ahead, throw some of this. Throw some of this. Here, you ready? Wait. All right, now let me pick these back up.
Let me get one of these out. Let me get one of those. I'll take one out.
I'm about to put these in the gallery. I'm about to put these in the gallery. I'm about to put these in the gallery. Why I throw them? I should have put them in the gallery. Why did I throw them? I was tripping. I should have put them in the gallery. I was tripping.
Coming home, I was.
Okay, hold on, wait. You and Riot, where you at? I'm not robbing. They said I can keep this. Hey, why y'all saying I got it tucked under the... They said I can keep it. I'm balling. I got lunch money. Before they rob me, hold on. Before they rob me and shit. All right, let's go. And we're moving around. All right, we're part of Unicorn Riot. I just want to know what you're feeling today.
I'm happy. Justice for George.
All right, mother, show you right. What about you, brother? How you feeling?
I feel great. I live over here. This was amazing news to hear.
And we love you guys, by the way. I watch Unicorn Riot every... I mean, I'm just a part of them today. Oh, okay. You know, just today. I'm just a co-host for today. Mm-hmm. Show you right. How you feeling today?
Excellent. How are you?
All right, I'm in the space, but how you doing? We're not talking about me, we're talking about you. How you feeling?
I feel relief.
I'm glad that you got some type of relief today.
But
I'm sorry! We did this shit, bitch!
That's 38 wrong!
Okay!
Huda, what you think about all that money flying around?
That money ain't ours. That money is for his family. And if I see anyone taking $1, that's selfish. Leave it where you see it. It's not meant for you.
What you mean? We say this is the reason to hold our head up, Hey, they just told us that we ain't crazy, bitch. Right. We ain't crazy. Let me get up out of here before they jump.
So that was guest host time with my Alicia, a mainstay here up at GFS. We're here at the square. There's a lot of family members, a lot of people up here, a lot of community up here.
A moment before this happened, there was money that it's hard to say it's hard to feel like there's going to be justice in this country.
Trying to squeeze around some of this press, sorry.
Excellent.
Got Billy picking up a lot of the press that sort of smashed in a lot of the exterior to this Dante Wright Memorial right here. So this is a caretaker picking things up. So he just put all the money into the George Floyd's vigil space.
So that way when we cover up the mud with this money, we can build something bigger with it.
Yeah. Woo!
This is now this money to go to building a real memorial now.
Yes.
This is the starting point for the real memorial.
Ashe.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, I promise you, I know you want to come man. I promise you. I promise you. But ain't no way. Ain't no way I'm gonna let the devil's playground interfere with this godly land again. Not like this. Not like this. I need some more people to bring this money over here, please. I promise you, I can't touch it. I can't.
So these lives is worth more than that.
I can't touch it. Like my body is like projecting any energy from this money when it came out. Like for real, it was like the energy is all bad. The energy be good once this money gets where it belongs, baby, but I can't touch it. It's like so evil. It's so evil to me right now. Straight up. There's a lot of people in the community who know what this money's supposed to do, but this money gotta go to the right place, man. Who do it?
So again, hello everybody, welcome. This is Nico from Unicorn Riot. We're here reporting live from George Floyd Square, where the crowd just heard the guilty verdict. You can both. You can hold the mic if you want. Otherwise, you could also introduce yourself if you want to. You don't have to. But just like, what are you feeling right now?
Hi, I'm Naomi Whitaker Hill. I'm glad that they found him guilty with all three. There's still a lot we need to accomplish, but I'm glad that they did this. If they didn't, there would have been a lot of chaos. And yeah, Black Lives Matter.
Hi, being from South Minneapolis, this one really touched my heart. I'm just so happy they actually found him guilty, and being that I'm raising a young queen right here, Naomi, it's good for her to witness this moment of justice. We still have a ways to go, and I just hope people keep fighting for justice.
What do you hope the sentencing is?
Maximum. Maximum, yep. I think he deserves maximum sentencing.
You talk about more work to do, and you did too. What does that look like?
It looks like changing laws. It looks like teaching the truth, especially to our youth. It looks like getting everyone on the same page and coming together.
What about you? What do you think?
The same. Still standing up for our rights. And yeah, the same that she said.
How does this space feel for you? Is this like is this one of those sacred spaces, or is this like what the mainstream says, the no-go zone? What do you feel right now about this space, and do you hope it continues to stay
It's
here?
sacred, and I hope it stays here. Yep, it's a sacred space. Yep, I just grew up 3 blocks from here. So like, this is my community.
And so the city has said that they've given 2 options, and both of them revolve around reopening the streets. What is your thoughts around that?
I think they should reopen it, but have something in the middle, like a roundabout that I heard them talking about. Yep.
So you're okay with the reopening, but the roundabout?
The roundabout. I think there definitely needs to be something here.
When it comes to Dante Wright, we have Dante Wright that happens, very young man, in the midst of this trial.
Right.
It brought up so much more grief for this community already, grieving and traumatized. Can you talk about that and what that meant to you, even as a youth, and then you as a mother?
So as a mother, to lose your child is just unspeakable and unbearable. And to lose it in that way, I mean, you would think that they would be some kind of conscious or something, because we just went through a trial. We're going through a trial at the time. So you would think that you would be more careful of your actions. So just to lose a 20-year-old like that was a father, and as their parents, I can't even think of it.
Yeah, they got people.
How about you, Naomi?
How I felt about that was, I feel like she did it on purpose. I feel like she was scared of a young black man.
That's it right there.
And she knew it was a gun. You're trained to know which side the gun and the taser is on. And he deserves He deserves his rights.
Yeah, she just hit on a point. I feel like they're so scared of our black skin. Like, that was his weapon right there. She was so nervous because he was a young black man, and we need to get out of that. So I think that's the part that hurt me the most. His skin color was what you were scared of, and I think that's why she was so nervous. I think she was nervous because he was black. Yeah.
And if you're scared of our skin color, then don't be a cop. At the end of the day.
There you go.
Yeah, thank you. Anything else you all want to say?
No, I just hope that we continue to come together as a community and as a country. I just hope we continue to come together and strive for success and just to grow our community in the right direction.
I want to say Black Lives Matter, and please stop killing us. And you chose to be a cop at the end of the day.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yep, you're
Really appreciate it.
Hey, what's up? How are you? Good to see you again.
You want to talk at all? Okay. I have to. What are you feeling right now?
What's good, Savannah? Right now, I want to take the minute I do have to say justice for everybody that's been slain. We are grateful that George and his life got this much attention, but this is not the time for us white folks to go and feel like we can lay up and go and be quiet because we got a W and something good happened. This is a sign that this is possible, but this system has been put in place for much longer than we've been alive, so it's going to take a long-term fight. This is a long-term fight to be a part of. So for everybody that looks like me, I want to take the chance to say this is a long-term fight. This is not a moment, and this isn't a chance to feel like because it's possible and because the situation doesn't have to end up being the worst possible outcome that we can go and feel comfortable again and go and feel complicit. This is a sign that something that you did, if you did stand up, had a part to play, and we all have a role. So this is the opportunity to not go feel complicit, not go feel comfortable, and go back to when I walk home, I don't fear for my life. I don't fear for my life. I fear for my brother's lives. I fear for my best friend's lives. And so that's another responsibility when we feel that privilege and we feel that opportunity that others don't have to just live and breathe and not fear for that. That's a sign that you should have a bigger responsibility. So I'm grateful, very grateful for how today turned out. but this is a rare occasion. And so just remember that if you're here standing up today, we got to be here for the long haul. This is a long fight. This is decades long of work that's going to take for anything to shift, because the system is not, this isn't a couple situations that y'all heard about online. The system is working how it's supposed to. It was designed this way. It's all intentional. So just remember, if you're standing up now, we got to keep standing up. This is not, don't go sit back down because one outcome happened. This is a long-term fight. And everybody else that you might see around, they don't have an option. We have a decision. We have a choice. That's the privilege. We have a choice to go home and get some sleep and not fear to be shot in our apartment when we're asleep. That's not something I have to worry about. Therefore, I have a choice. Nobody else has a choice. So just remember that you have more impact than you think. Keep holding your white counterparts accountable, because it's not the black community's job either to do that. That is our job, because we have that extra energy, extra space to do that. That is our job. So keep holding your people accountable. And if you're standing up now, you got to be standing up for the next decades. That's all I got to say. Use your voice. Savannah, appreciate y'all. Keep fighting.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Good to see you.
So again, here is George Floyd Square. His resting place is over here where the gentleman is speaking. We're going to walk the perimeter for a second, catch some interviews. Or let's see what's up with him.
Hey, get over here, put these cameras over here on this money so you can start building George Floyd Memorial situation.
So a few hundred people have gathered here. A lot of press are here. Here's the spot for Daunte Wright, who was just killed very recently, 2 Sundays ago. Not last Sunday, but the Sunday before that. George Floyd's resting place is right about where that gentleman's speaking. Here's the gallery.
And now, so basically, the verdict is letting us know that we can hold these police accountable. Just like when.
We'll try to take a quick tour in a little bit.
Oh, okay. It did seem like they were maybe a Middle Eastern
We'll check back in with them in a minute. I'll get it to you. Hello. Give me a few moments.
Please watch out, babe. There's people walking out.
Okay. Oh, you're good. This is the South Barricade that you can see off in the distance. Again, this is George Floyd Square, the longest held autonomous zone in North American history, besides intentional communities, from my understanding. The community has been running this since George Floyd was killed. Here's the bookshelf, the community bookshelf. No, hey, that was great footage. You want to talk? No.
I love Nico. Nico, you I don't watch you all day, every day, bro. What you got to say about the trial?
Hold on, where you going?
Yeah, you want to talk at all?
I'm
You're not filming me or no?
Yes, please, bro. She been out here, boots on the ground too, every day.
Right,
Man, look, I'm so relieved.
I mean, I can say I'm a little relieved. We still got Dante to fight for. We got all the rest of these people to fight for that have not been heard lately, and we need to bring them out. Like Terrence Franklin, that's my boy. He got killed by the police over Southside Minneapolis, and we still really haven't got justice for that neither. But right here, this is so heartwarming right now to me. We finally actually got a little bit of justice, finally. You know, a little bit. I still feel like he could have went down sooner. It should have took a year to do this. It should have took a year. Muhammad, the man that killed the white lady over South Minneapolis, it took 2.5 seconds for him to get convicted. Why did it take so long for him? It's plain and day, you know? You've seen it. We've seen it. Everybody's seen it with their own eyes.
What does this community feel like for you? You've been out here a long time. Do you still want to hold this space? What's that?
Oh yeah. We want to hold this space. This space ain't going nowhere. We're gonna hold it until we get what we really want right here, and that's the memorial for everybody that's been killed by the police. Not just George Floyd, but everybody. We want everybody to be heard, and we need this to be a safe space, a nice community gathering area. We just need it needs to be claimed for us. It's our space. Period. It's our space.
What do you hope for the sentencing for Chauvin?
I hope they put him underneath the jail. Really. There's drug dealers that get more time than what they're trying to give him. You know what I'm saying? People that do real stupid crimes in their younger ages that got more time than them. I know kids that are doing life for doing stupid stuff. This man really you're the police. You were supposed to serve and protect us. You did not serve and protect us. You killed one of us on our street. It's ridiculous.
Anything else you want to say?
No. Thanks, Nico.
Appreciate it, yes.
Being on the front lines and like documenting everything. That shit got crazy. You're like a really brave journalist, and you're doing great work. So thank you so very much.
Thank you for everything.
Thank you. Appreciate that. See, the sign is the demands here: no justice, no streets. Here's People's Way. They have it's been reclaimed from Speedway to People's Way. This is the meeting space. Whoops, sorry.
I need y'all to stand back so y'all can see this shit. Stand back over here. Every day. I need y'all to stand back. Everybody. All y'all news and problems, get your ass over here.
Come on, sister.
All y'all news and problems, get your ass over here. So y'all won't get shit fucked up neither.
A little indication.
Let me tell y'all something. Y'all gave us respect. Hey! Wait a minute! We need everybody to shut the fuck up! We need everybody to shut the fuck up! Hey, Block Party, come on! I need everybody to shut the fuck up! Pay attention to us. Butchie, you back there in the back. I see you. But day one, this is what I want y'all to know. I want all y'all want to know that once I get your ass back over here. Phone call?
She got my attention. She got my attention. What's up? Come on.
Listen, I want y'all to know today that this is a fucking village.
Yes.
This is a community.
Yes.
You understand me? Don't give not one fucking person a title out of here. We don't do titles. We are a village and a community.
That's right.
We've been out here for 11 months. You newspaper people, stop this shit. Y'all will not defile us anymore.
That's right.
We are standing together.
Yeah.
When we mean justice, peace, we mean that.
Y'all got y'all
in that
peace.
order. Listen to me. Anybody say a title to anybody giving titles out here, you're gonna leave this premises.
No false info.
If we hear anybody giving titles, you're leaving the premises. You better hear me. 38th Street, we're gonna respect fucking 38th Street. In
Yes,
that
ma'am.
order.
Yes, ma'am.
You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
38th Street, they might not be standing right here, but they had our fucking back. I know what I'm saying.
On God.
Boots on the fucking ground every day, all day, rain, snow, fall, sleep. We've been out here. I'm let y'all know once again. 38th Street, holding boots.
That's my name.
Get it? Big step. Big step.
Middle name, 38th Street.
Don't give nobody no titles right here. I wish I would hear somebody asking somebody about a title.
I heard you were the gatekeeper.
It's a family.
It's a family thing.
I am the gatekeeper. I'm the gatekeeper out here. And I'm trying to get you about the end. God knows me. God knows me to be the gatekeeper for such a time as this.
What a time to be
So
alive.
guess what? I'm gonna be alive. God ain't got me going nowhere. But let me tell y'all something. This here. This here. This up. This up. It ain't
George Floyd! LA, they got him up there.
Y'all see this? Y'all see this?
Yeah, they got it.
Y'all see this?
I'm trying to.
Y'all see this?
I know you keep
This us. This us, goddamn.
I mean, we got to speak the way.
This
On
us.
this side.
Ain't no one man motherfucking show over here. Stop.
I'm live streaming.
Not right now. Crack her nerves. What's good, Nico?
Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? Good to see you.
Hey, Nico. How's it going?
Hey! Good to see you. Good to see you too. Yeah. I never hit you back up and told you
Oh, yeah, I saw it. It looked great. You did some great work editing and stuff.
Thank you.
Okay, cool.
Hey, I thought I saw your yellow hat.
Yeah.
Oh, there's so many yellow hats. There's so many yellow hats. No. You're cute. Seriously, I'm looking for all the monkeys. Yeah.
You feeling okay? Feeling okay with the guilties or not?
I feel like it's a spectacle.
Spectacle. You want to talk at all? Like, we don't have to videotape you. You can do audio. You know? We don't have to too. Spectacle.
Yeah, I know you're not.
I will, man. Thank you, man.
Thank you for everything.
Thank you for everything. How you doing?
I'm alright.
Did you want to talk at all? No.
Better.
Yeah?
A little bit better, yeah. Yeah, how are you? I I know you've been over there in Brooklyn too. I've been watching. You too.
A couple of the interviews we had just set up got swept away by some others. We'll get back to those.
Yo, Nico, thank you for your energy, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Hey, y'all want to talk it off?
You a news person?
Yeah, I'm live streaming right now.
I ain't really got nothing to say. I got free promotions. Hey, PSN, the Boy Wonder. You know, I'm the top 100 of Call of Duty.
Can I film you?
Say it again. The Boy Wonder. Follow me on PSN, Twitter, all that, Instagram.
Okay.
You know, I'm a gamer. Top 100 in the world. Call of Duty, Cold War.
Oh, dang. I'm gonna ask you real quick. Being a gamer, how does it feel to be out in this community-run area after hearing the verdict?
I mean, once I heard the verdict, you know, I came down here with my ladies, my girlfriend right here, and, you know, we just wanted to go and be a part of history, you feel me? So, you know, that's why we down here, honestly.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Here's the Black Power fist. This has seen 3 or 4 different iterations of it. This is the fist. Hey, what's up?
Hi, Fred.
Good. Just wait till I get a full yeah, that's gonna be awesome. I gotta talk to my students first.
Okay, yes.
This is Marsha Howard speaking to students. Running the barricades and helping out caretaking. There's another caretaker who's been up here most of the time. Yesterday Sunday, there was a Black and Asian Solidarity rally up here. We spoke to one of the caretakers, Janelle Austin. We've also done a documentary called Beyond the Barricades, a look in,
coverage.
I think you appreciate that. Yeah. A look at George Floyd Square. Check that out on our website, unicornriot.ninja. We were here when the verdict was read. We saw the reaction. There's a few hundred more people have come since then. Swing around real quick.
It really does.
This crowd is getting bigger and bigger. It's very hard to maneuver around actually at this point. Hey, what's up? Nice shirt.
Hey, how's it going? Oh, thank you. Yeah. Thanks for the support. Definitely, thanks for being out here.
That was a shirt from our last year's fundraiser.
Don't get too excited right now. We're gonna let the process play itself out. The people are pretty much ready for change, and this is one step in the right direction of change.
Okay, one of many.
Yeah, it's one of many. So many ways to go about getting justice in this country. But this is good news. This is a temporary good news because there's a lot of work that needs to be done.
Yeah.
There's a lot of catch up that we have to play, and the systematic racist injustice system has to be brought down to its knees to a point where we create a whole new system that is more just and inclusive to everybody.
Amber.
Okay.
What's up, shawty?
But the city of Minneapolis can
Marquise.
rest a little bit easier tonight that
I know that
this
forehead
is one
anywhere.
step in the right direction and that,
Right on.
you know, some wrongs are being rectified.
I think I did.
And we thank the jury for their verdict. We thank the process. We thank the court system for putting it on trial. And we thank all the allies out there that have been sticking through from day one. And as you can see, if you look around, there's a lot of happiness going on tonight.
Yeah.
And that's all because God has answered a lot of prayers.
Not all of them, but a lot.
A lot, yeah. God has answered some prayers. And that's very important.
There's three more officers just from this killing.
This is somebody else's interview. We'll get some questions in a second.
Yeah.
There's
Dante Wright.
episodes.
Yeah, there's Dante Wright. There's no trial for that just yet. But that's another episode that's going to be another trauma that the community has to go and deal with. You know, our pain is our pain, and our pain is still going on. So, you know, this by no means is the end of the pain. You know, but this is a calming moment for us.
Okay.
This is a calming moment for the community, for everybody.
I'm attracting the whole crowd now. What's that? I did.
Well, we want to know, how do you feel about the verdict and all of that? Yes. Yeah, go ahead, get him too.
You know what I'm saying? So this is how I really, no cap though, I ain't even on no funny shit, really how I feel like. I mean, it's a great verdict, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that nigga should have really did life type shit, because I feel like at the end of the day, as me as a black man, go put my neck on a white woman or a white person, my knee on a white person's neck for 8 minutes straight, I'm going to jail regardless type shit. So I feel like we sitting there watching the fucking verdict. How long was this trial? Weeks long to decide if he killed the man with his knee on his neck for 8 minutes. Even when the fucking EMP came and checked and he still had the knee on the neck, that shit just foul. And if I go out here and do shit like that, I'm going straight to jail. I'm going under that bitch. So I just feel like that shit is fucked up. It's foul. That shit is, they always take our culture and they try to embarrass us and they try to make us feel like less than what we is, and that shit foul. We built a lot of this shit to begin with. You know what I'm saying? They be like, why y'all like flashy shit? Why y'all be buying all this shit? Because we came from gold. We came from having everything. We fucking queens and kings around this bitch. You know what I'm saying? My black people. I'm not saying y'all not, because everybody, you know what I'm saying? But just still, period though. Like, they got us fucked up though. That's how I feel. It probably didn't make sense for no camera, but that's my heart.
What about the sentencing? What do you think for the sentencing?
I don't even know how much time did he get.
He hasn't been given the sentence. So what do you want?
He got guilty for all 3 charges, right?
Yep.
You said what I want? All right, whole time. I feel like put his ass under the jail. You hear me? He need to go in the jail. He need to feel how them niggas in there feel. They need to get on his ass. He can't get protected by no police because he made the police look bad. So we think all cops is bad. Most people. I don't want to fuck with the police, but still, he need to get under that bitch. And y'all know whoever watching this shit. Y'all know he deserve to be under the fucking jail. He don't lie. Y'all even know. Y'all interviewing. What y'all think? Yeah, you say, okay, there we go. It's all good. But look, I'm elevating everything, man. Man, Cardi love heavy, man. Elevate me, you hear me?
Thank you.
That's understood.
My man.
Sir, before you go. Feeling all types of things, man. You know what I mean? I'm feeling all. I'm really waiting to see what the years is gonna be. You know what I mean? I think that's the next step. Like homie said over here, you know what I mean? It's definitely a step in the right direction, but it's a long way to go. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah.
So I heard you talking just a minute ago, just like about change and more needing to happen. At the closing arguments, the state during the closing arguments said numerous times that the community didn't react to Chauvin, didn't push him off of George Floyd because they respected the badge. And they kept saying they respected the badge and they didn't want to do anything against the badge. What is your feeling when it comes to the community and police?
That's because there's an ingrained fear in every black man when it comes to the police. So even though you see the police is doing something wrong, the trained behavior is that you do not interfere with police business. Because everyone at that place, if they would have interfered, would have caught charges and would have been murdered themselves. So we know from trained behavior, from years of trauma, 400 years of trauma, we know that when policemen are conducting their business, we do not interfere. However, I believe that a lot of people in the future are going to be holding the police accountable, and if they do see the police in such acts, will be interfering, because it requires a man and manhood and humanity to interfere in such situations. So same thing as if you see a man beating on a woman in the middle of the street, you would interfere. Same thing. Right now, people are going to interfere in the future, and interaction brings actions. So, and another thing I want to say is, this by no means was just the court alone that delivered this verdict. This was the people united, never being defeated, that brought up this process. So we give respect to the courts, but also the people united. Everyone you see here and their voices have brought about this result that we see today.
Yeah. Can you talk about the community here at George Floyd Square, even just what the Agape movement is and your role in this community?
Well, the Agape movement, first of all, started by a bunch of men from the neighborhood that got together and said, we're not going to take this anymore, and we're going to basically look out for our own community and do what's right for our community. So what the Agape movement, what we do is we've been holding this space down and making sure that there is peace on this block since the George Floyd murder. And the Agape movement was started right after the George Floyd murder. And we've been here since, making sure that everything is smooth and that people are protected and safe. And we do what we can to keep it moving forward. So we need more community members to be active and taking part in their neighborhoods and protecting their own people, and showing that people united can never be defeated. That's the message we want to get out.
Okay.
And the Agape movement, mainly what we are focused on is turning street energy into community energy in every facet that it be, whether it be helping the poor, helping the needy, helping the hungry, clothing the unclothed. We are working in every capacity that we can, and we're partnering up with a lot of people that can take action and do something good for the community. So that's what we mainly are focusing on.
Is there what type of beliefs within the Agape movement are there with partnering with the police or the city?
There is no talk, there is no ambition of us partnering up with the police or any of that. We do not take part in any of that. We are holding on our neighborhood, and we're taking part in our neighborhood. We have no connection to police. We do not deal with police, and we do not welcome any kind of talk dealing with the police in that matter. However, anyone who's working towards the progress and peace progress and progression of black people forward, we are willing to welcome and work with them. And I believe some communities do need to work with their police if they're in a positive capacity, but at the moment right now we have no relationship to the police.
Thank you. Anything else you'd want to say with the verdict? How this feels for you, the community, anything?
This is not over. This is not over. This is just the start of a long, long night. We've got to hunker in, and we've got to put our hands together and put our resources and our services together and help our people. And we got to keep going until the last person that has been done injustice has been rectified and justice has been served to every single hurting human being out there. This is not done. This is by far not over. We've got a lot of work to do, and we're going to keep going.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Rocking with us since the whole man downtown, and everybody else is no stuff. Always here for you. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Should be where he died, 63rd and Catherine. And I hope y'all show the same support that y'all showed for this verdict.
His message, my number.
To this precinct.
Yeah, man. Hey, I know you always talking to me.
That's what it's really about. It's about honoring the memory. How else are they going to listen? If we keep fighting the system, we need to show them that we're better than this.
Sorry.
It's just about
I don't need more than 2 seconds. Like I said, I feel like everybody done spoke. They don't say their piece, and I agree that this is not over. Yes, I'm okay. I'm happy that, you know, they convicted a guilty man. We knew he was guilty. If he didn't sit through no trial to know that man was guilty, and he was guilty, and they were like, oh, it's the proof of evidence, but we got to this trial. We made it through this year. We got families, we still got families out here grieving, we still got families out here fighting, and we fighting with them. We fighting with them. It's not over. I mean, thank you. Finally, America did your job after you guys stole and enslaved the whole people, but alright. I love everybody. I love everybody. And I'm glad for everybody coming out here today and being in solidarity with not only George Floyd, but all the stolen black lives, because we tired, we sick, we done. You hear me?
I've had a lot of people ask me what justice looks like. In my 60 years as a black man in America, I don't know. So I would assume that this is a little piece of what justice looks like, because I've never seen justice before. But I've assumed that this is a small portion of what justice looks like, or the beginning of what justice looks like. That's all I wanted to say. Blue Street! Blue Street! Our Street! Blue Street! Our Street! Blue Street! Our Street! We shook up the world, y'all.
Crowd is growing, hundreds and hundreds more.
Oh, guys, I'm trying to leave meetings for quite a while.
I'm not. Yeah, I know a lot of my.
Good to see you.
Yeah, how you doing?
Not bad. Take care of yourself. How you feeling with the verdict?
I don't know. I mean, like, it feels good to see him. To see him sitting there taking it. And, like, yeah, I'm excited about that. And we're going to be going forward. Like, everyone will go home. But I don't know. Trying not to get put people. Yeah, very good to see you. Definitely
Y'all came by, someone came by, I was out at the jail doing jail support, watching like all these cars drive into the jail, and there's stuff out there, and I wonder what's happening to Brooklyn Center, and post on Twitter, and there's a video of where you work, how did they come by? Like, where was it? I think you must have been like around the corner.
Yeah, I just stopped my car in the middle of the street and just videoed it.
Yeah, that's what it was. Oh, you missed it though. The coolest thing I saw, one of the cars pulling in, starting to feel slightly better and right into the front of the grill of the SUV. It made me so happy. It's like, definitely.
All right,
Ray of
that's
sunshine.
funny.
Ray of sunshine. All right, so maybe after you graduate, you'll join us in our endeavor.
Oh, yeah.
Boots on the ground.
You set your watch. You set your watch. Thank you so much.
Sorry.
Hey, are you Nico? Yeah. Hi.
I've been watching all the time. I'm just amazing.
Appreciate that.
No, because I keep running into it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab a few interviews, just give it a moment. This is the scene here up at George Floyd Square. Hundreds and hundreds of people here. And y'all want to talk at all? Yep.
Let's do it.
You see the new poster for Dante Wright, killed by Brooklyn Center police 2 Sundays ago.
Maybe he will call Hannah, but
Otherwise, it's like May 16th. That's onward.
Unicorn Riot.
Hey! People are now taking pictures at the memorial, or at the mural.
It was zoomed in all the way. Oh, you can zoom it out. I got it.
Looks like there's a celebration table that's been set up. It's possible sweets, it looks like, or some food. Let's check it out. It's balloons. How you doing? Can I interview you? What, so what's happening right now?
All right, so right now we are just feeding the community. A friend of ours, Shalonda, she is the gumbo lady. She decided to, kind of collectively get some monies together, and whether it was a good outcome or a bad, we just decided to celebrate the community and do something fun and positive. So we got, you know, we're just going to feed the community. We got some chips, some gumbo, some rice, and a couple other goodies for the kids and whatnot, some juice and some pops, and we're just going to have a good time and celebrate something positive coming out of this tragedy.
Yeah. Can you talk about what group you're from and then what you feel right now with the verdict being read?
I'm excited. I'm representing her. This is her entity, so I'll let her tell you.
Yeah, you can hold this if you want.
Hi, I'm the Gumbo Lady. I'm super happy with the verdict being read. Hopefully this brings peace to Minnesota, to just all communities everywhere, some type of hope. And I'm just out here. I was prepared for anything today, and hopefully the positivity is here, the energy is here. So come get some gumbo. We got snacks for the kids. Just come. It's just good energy out here. 38th in Chicago.
Word. If you have a shop, where can people find your food?
I don't have a shop right now, but I do have a website. It's www.thegumbolady.com. And I have orders. You can go on there, request food. I do catering and all of the above. So just let me know. Thank you. Come out here and support the Gumbo Lady. We got decorations, we got food for the kids, and just like I said, good energy and justice. So, good day.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
This is the East Barricade of 38th Street near Elliott Ave. The crowd is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Maybe I can wait for my assistant.
Yep. If you see me, let me know. Otherwise, if I see you, I'll try to take it.
Yeah. Next time you come, I'll be ready.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Did you want to talk to her?
We'll be a unit.
Got it.
So this is the store that you saw George Floyd go into during the trial. George Floyd's car was parked about where those bikes are. That's Dragon Walk, the camera. This is the other camera that the city was using. This is the fist that's in the middle. The city says that they're trying to keep either the fist in the middle or it off to the side for when they reopen. Jeremiah Ellison.
Nico. Oh, they're filming a documentary. I'm down to step aside. I mean, whatever you gotta do. Okay. Yeah, I'm down.
You can hold this if you want.
Yep, got it.
Sweet. Introduce yourself and talk about what's going on right now, how you're feeling.
Yeah.
What are you feeling about the verdict?
Yeah, my name's Jeremiah Ellison. I represent Ward 5 on the north side. I'm on the Minneapolis City Council. And I'm feeling pretty complicated, but for the most part, I'm excited. I'm happy about the verdict. I think it's what was deserved. Guilty on all 3 counts. You really can't ask for a whole lot more than that. I think the prosecution did an incredible job, and we got the just outcome that we could get and deserved out of this case. At the same time, I also know we've been here before. I've been talking to a lot of folks about the case of Laquan McDonald and the trial of Jason Van Dyke, and how in a lot of ways you have a similar case in some ways, right? You've got police lying about what happened to Laquan. You've got the video coming out and telling us all what actually happened, the truth about what happened. You've got charges being brought, and Jason Van Dyke, he was accused of second degree and 16 counts of aggravated assault, right? That was in 2018. George Floyd was still killed in this heinous manner in 2020. I don't want to be here 2 years from now talking about another name
another person. So we know that these cases, well, we deserve justice in these individual cases, and today we got it, and we should celebrate that. We also know that they don't inherently change anything, and if we really want to change the system, we're going to have to keep turning the dial. I'm happy to see all the incredible work. You know, I pursue the work at the level that I can, but these are the people who you see out here. They do the work. They're the reason that the work is happening. They're the reason that somebody like me could even get elected. And so I'm happy to be out here with the community as they process this information as well.
Quickly, during the closing arguments, it was brought up numerous times from the state side that the community didn't react to Chauvin killing George Floyd because they respected the badge. And they respected the badge, and that's why the community didn't do anything. Now, we know that this case is all revolving around police killing. And can you talk about like what that, did that strike you as anything? Did you think about that? What are you thinking about that now as I ask that question?
You know, when you I've never been an attorney, but I feel like I know a little bit enough. I know enough about it that that you're trying to make the best case that you can to the jury that's in the room. We don't get to decide the outcome of a case out here, right? And neither do the attorneys. The jury decides that outcome, and so they've got to build their story, they've got to build their case, and they've got to deliver it directly to the jury. They've got to deal with the legal consequences, but out here we've got to deal with the social consequences, and we've got to have solutions to that. And the courts can't be the whole of that. So I'll say, I'm not going to say that nobody respects the badge, right? People do respect the badge, but I also think that it's a real dynamic that people fear the badge. They don't want to be killed themselves. They don't want to be shot themselves. And if somebody would have tackled Derek Chauvin on that night to get him off of George Floyd, that might have been the name that we were saying today. And so, I think that can't be lost on us. And that's the dynamic that we have to change. People should feel like when they are going to call 911, that if they need that help, they should be rest assured that they're getting help. Whether that's police, and I think very soon that police aren't going to be the only ones who respond to a crisis in our city. If me and some of my colleagues get to have our way. At the same time, if people are calling for help, they don't deserve to have to hesitate or fear that help might make things worse. And that's the system that we have now.
Can you talk about that a little bit more, where you said you and your colleagues are trying to make these changes?
Yes.
Some of the changes that possibly could come, can you mention them?
Yeah. So, in this past budget cycle, we took 5% of the police's budget, we put it towards mental health response, we put it towards the Office of Violence Prevention, and we put it towards channeling resources towards non-emergency responses, fender benders and that kind of thing that police typically show up to, but aren't an emergency. We don't need to have men with guns responding to those kinds of things. I think that's just a small start, $8 million to invest in things that have never existed at the city. At the same time, we've got some real roadblocks with our own city charter. And so you've got community members and council members trying to get some changes in the city's charter that would allow for the council to have some legal authority over policing policy, which we currently don't have. And that's going to end up being on the ballot in November. And so if we're able to change that, I think that's going to give us a good pathway to right-size, law enforcement to the degree that it needs to actually exist, but also ask ourselves, in what ways do our neighbors expect to be kept safe, and create a public safety system that keeps them safe in that way. That's mental health responses. That's the appropriate response to the appropriate crises and emergencies, and that's what we're looking to create.
Thank you. As a Northside resident, what is your feeling about Operation Safety Net and the military sort of occupying the city at this moment?
I think for some people, for most of us, the greatest tragedy that happened last summer was the murder of George Floyd. I think for other folks in leadership, I think the greatest tragedy that happened was that the 3rd Precinct burned down. And while none of us want to see public buildings being burned to the ground, it is not the worst thing that happened. One of the worst things that happened was the police response to protests, which I believe inflamed protesters, inflamed activists, and really created a chaotic situation that was primed to turn out the way that it turned out. You got folks in the governor's office, you got folks in the mayor's office, and they think that the community is the problem. They think that the people out here are the problem. They think that it's just a bunch of rabid activists who had no impulse control. But, for those of us who are actually out there on the ground, we know what was happening. We saw the excessive tear gassing, we saw the rubber bullets, we saw the flashbang grenades, and we saw people getting injured, and we saw those methods have no effect on keeping us and our neighbors safe. And so I think it's a huge mistake dumping all those resources into that response. And I think it's a huge waste of money. I won't lament on it too much. But I think some folks at the state level and some folks in Congress are recognizing that we often say we don't have enough money for this social program, for rental assistance, or to help people secure their housing, but we can come up with $9 million, $31 million, $35 million. We can just come up with these millions and millions of dollars to invite the National Guard here. It's not right, and I'm hoping that in the long term we're going to hold the system accountable for spending this money in this way.
Thank you. One last question, if you got a second.
Yep.
And thank you for this. You talk about the money and the money being dished out. Well, $27 million then was also given to the George Floyd family from the city, from the taxpayers of the city.
Yeah.
Is there any moves that maybe city council members or other legislators are trying to make to where it won't be the taxpayers that are on the hook for police killings?
Yeah. So, there was a huge effort before I got in office to make sure that police were self-insured. That effort wasn't able to go forward. I think at the time there was an argument that state law wouldn't allow it. I think that probably will still be the argument, but it's something that we have to look into. Look, quite frankly, we can't afford the public safety system that we have. We can't afford the human cost, losing people like George Floyd, losing people like Travis Jordan, like Daunte Wright, but we also literally can't afford it in dollars at some point. At the time that Justine Damon settlement came in, everybody thought that's going to be a once-in-a-lifetime settlement, and here we are just 2 years later. And so I think that we really have to invest in changing the way that we keep each other safe, and I definitely think it's worthwhile for us to revisit self-insurance, but I don't think a current effort is underway right this second.
Anything else you'd want to add?
No, I just thank you, man. You're like, I really appreciate the work that you do. You've been on the ground out here, and I just, I feel like it can be difficult to tell the truth when you have all these narratives flying through people's minds, flying in front of their TVs, and you manage to tell the truth every single time. So I appreciate it.
Appreciate that.
All right.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
We appreciate your work, Nico. I think you were out here when my son got gas. So.
Oh, word. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
You want to talk at all?
Sure.
How are you feeling? You just had a big old, is this a Doberman pinscher?
He's a Great Dane.
Great Dane. You just had, I don't know my dogs. You just had him like crawling up on you.
Yes.
But also you're here with community, it seems.
Yes.
What are you feeling right now?
A sense of relief, but also a sense of renewed urgency. This is the beginning of justice. It's not the end. And so we need to continue to push for police accountability, abolishment of the police. At the 3rd precinct, my son was actually gassed. They shot directly at me, and then people were yelling that there are children here, and they shot tear gas directly at him. So it's not just this one cop, it's not just this one person, it's an entire system that needs to be dismantled and reformed.
When it comes to George Floyd, Derek Chauvin, what do you hope his sentencing will be?
I hope that they will take into the account the aggravating circumstances and that he gets what should be the result of that, what any of us would get. Me as a mental health professional, had I done something similar to that, I would have not only lost my license, but my job immediately. So those are things that need to be taken into consideration and then done with accordingly.
Are you from this area?
Yeah, yep, I live
Talk
here.
about what George Floyd Square means to you.
It means community, it means safety, it means support, it means, an ability to show that we can do this ourselves. We don't need the police. We have the ability, and by abolishing the police, this is what we mean.
So there's been threats on this space by the city consistently, especially in the last couple months. They said they're going to try to clear the space after the trial of Chauvin. People have said they want to keep the space till at least the trial of all 4 officers are done.
Yeah.
What is your feeling around that?
Yeah, I mean, this needs to be kept forever. This is the community space. We're the ones who live here. We're the ones who exist here. it shouldn't be a group of officers who don't exist here that get to make those decisions. That should be a community decision. So I don't think even past the 4 officers' trials that this should be abolished. This should be kept forever.
Thank you. Anything else you want to say?
Just that, this is just the beginning. This, sense of urgency and sense of justice that's reactive needs to not be the case. It needs to be a proactive sense of justice and a proactive sense of community. Yeah, absolutely.
You want to talk? Yeah, you can introduce yourself and then talk about what you're feeling right now after hearing the verdict.
Well, I'm just so excited and just delighted to be able to talk with you at Unicorn here. You guys have been doing a wonderful job. Frederick Douglass said the life of the nation is secure as long as the nation is honest, truthful, and there's fidelity. And when we think about how people are informed, how are the police officers generally informed when they drive down the street? And I think the media needs to give the context of how are black people framed in this nation. In 1619, blacks and whites were indentured servants. The kids don't get that in the schools. The Barbary Coast was the part of the Arab slave trade. Britain was still being raided for slaves. The Slavic nations were still being raided for slaves. So in 1619, blacks and whites were just happy that they weren't in slavery. They lived together, they ate together, they did everything together. It wasn't until about during Bacon's Rebellion that they sent a missive to Britain and they split the people. And they said, well, if a white woman marries a slave, she's slave and her children are slave for the rest of their lives. And that changed America totally. So I think that we need to make sure now that the nation gets the correct, full history of the black man just like everybody else. And people can go to my blog, Les Lester's Chronicle. That really summarizes it. I'm always telling people, I'm doing talks all the time. I talked with the kids today at a school, and they were really excited because you had the Minoans who were before the Greeks of black culture. Kids aren't getting that. They get about the Corinthian, the Doric, and the Ionic, but they don't get about the Minoans. And then not just Egypt, but the Etruscans were before the Romans. People don't get that. They just get this flat narrative of who America is from a European perspective. And I think that we're in the right place, but now we've got to move forward. We've got to be truthful. We've got to be honest. We've got to be virtuous. And we can have this wonderful revolution without blood that Dr. Martin Luther King was, literally talking about. Yeah, so
it's almost, you're talking about a revamping of the educational system as well, or just the narrative in general.
100%. I ran for the 5th Congressional District for Congress this year, but I wound up getting into the election late, and people were beginning to mail out votes already in the mail-out system. But I wanted to make sure that this information got out, that we've got to merge the full black history with world history, and the Department of Education can address that right now. They can address that, and I think just looking around here, this is just wonderful. This is Minneapolis on the ground, because the racism comes from the top down, not from the bottom up. Look at these people, red, yellow, black, white, all colors, no problems whatsoever. And I've been watching you guys over the last few days, and you guys have been doing a wonderful job. I kept posting about kind of what I'm saying now on your webpage. When you were over at about Duarte rights, concerning rights killing. Yeah.
Thank you for that. Real quickly, what is your thoughts around the verdict, sentencing, and this space right now?
Well, as I said, I feel that, the verdict shows that people's hearts are in the right place. America's moving forward. We're showing ourselves as a virtuous people. This space, again, as I mentioned, it's representative of the Twin Cities on the ground. Twin Cities is the best city in the world, and just to see all these people, everyone's calm, pensive, and again, the racism comes from the top down. If the Department of Education and the school systems do what they're supposed to do, then we're going to have this beautiful nation that we all aspire for.
Anything else you want to say?
Well, I just thought about when the young Wright was killed, that was right after the Ten Commandments movie, and I was lamenting because not only were the Egyptians black, but if you look in Genesis 10, that's the Table of Nations, you'll see that most of those people on the movie Ten Commandments should be black. And so Genesis 10 and Genesis 10:22 will show everybody who are the people and how they should be colored in these movies and stuff. And we really need to start from Hollywood. Yeah. And so, because the thing is, I mean, interestingly, George Floyd, they say he had a $20 counterfeit money, you know. So if the issue is money, we built up this incredible economy in the United States. It's about a $20 trillion gross domestic product. And we see the monies are available because we've been able to, with no problem whatsoever, take care of people, keep the economy going. And if that started because of money, we should ensure that we get money in people's pockets. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
My pleasure.
Yes. Where can people find more about you?
You can just Google Les Lester, Minnesota, or Les Lester's Chronicle is my blog. And I'd just be delighted. And we got a board on there where people are talking all the time. But the history summarizes what America and the globe needs to know. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Yes, sir.
I don't want to be on, but this is what BCPD is doing to fucking people.
BCPD.
This is what BCPD is doing to the people who are protesting right now. These motherfuckers, you say that we've got justice. We're still not allowed to protest. We're still not allowed to get justice for our communities. The 24 demands, none of that shit has yet been met. They've only given $10.5 million to this area when the ask is $155 million, among other things. They are shooting us. It doesn't matter if you're peaceful or not. They're gonna fucking shoot you. The state wants control, and they will do whatever they can to maintain it. And so I hope that people view this verdict and know that this is not just like we get one guilty conviction, and it is hard for me to believe that it is not because people burned shit down.
So just heard from City Council member as well as person Les Lester running for office. The City Council member was Keith Ellison's son, Jeremiah Ellison.
Y'all want to talk at all? No, I just love you. Love you back. Thank you.